My name is Jeannie Tyrell, and you are listening to Brain Drops. The Brain Drops podcast will provide every listener information about the Brain Drops Foundation. Today I'm speaking with our foundation team member, Nate Mercier. Okay. All right. So what's the plan, Stan? You want to just jump into the questions or?
Yes. So let's pick them apart piece by piece. Based around what's going on presently, do you believe, in your own opinion, that there isn't enough action being taken with these wrongdoings around us?
I believe the bulk of our action is reactionary, and I think it, in my opinion, and what I'm going to be talking about is the way our attention span and the way that we as a society are mentally purchased by corporations, and that's why we don't look at these issues unless it's like a hashtag or something.
Right. So do you think people turn away from an issue because it's easier to avoid it or because they're afraid?
I believe I think people enjoy watching conflict, but not in their own lives. People avoid hard conversations with their family unless it's on Facebook. Like Facebook does give them the power to kind of speak out against family about certain issues, but I don't know if it's really happening face to face. And I think it's because comfort really works for people. You know, like, why get your hands dirty? It's not my house, not my sister, not my family, doesn't affect my business. So why should they care, kind of thing, which is really terrible. And I believe that's a super toxic mindset, and it hurts marginalized communities. We can't not talk about it. So we have to really, really boil down and point out what the freaking problem is, because it's getting out of control.
Yeah.
Our society is really kind of groomed to having an individual being this shining star. They always push the freaking hero mentality and all this kind of mumbo jumbo. But if you don't fit into that shining star mold, you just fall through the cracks. Yeah.
It makes sense. Okay, next up. In the world of escapism and the disregard complex, what kinds of life skills and learning opportunities do people miss by choosing to spend all their time into passive activities such as video streaming, social media, and gaming, to name a few?
I would say before I answer that, I want to really clarify the difference between good escapism and toxic. I'm really going to focus on combating toxic escapism. There's healthy forms of passive escapism that's actually good for the soul. Reading, writing, hiking, painting, like those, human beings need those things. They need that escapism for their mind and their body for balance. So there's that, but I'm specifically trying to tackle and bring more attention to the toxic version of it because it's very exploited. Like Netflix exploits it, tobacco company, Hollywood, and even like the big wonderful world of Disney profits off of it and exploits it. They want you to just kind of veg out and watch all their stuff and buy all their stuff, and it just fuels it.
So, wow, you really don't like Disney, huh?
Well, I'm going to always push the conversation, and I'm always going to bring it up because I really am an anarchist to those massive systems, and I really want to see them go belly up. I really do. I want.
You know what? I don't disagree because they fired me. So
when
I worked for them. Yeah. So I agree with that. You know.
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, Disney is just one of the hugest elements of it, and my personal vendetta against them is that they are so intertwined with our children. The fangs are out for that company specifically, and I always drop their name. But big tobacco companies that do way worse. Hollywood totally exploits people, looking for work, and you just look into the Harvey Weinstein situation. It's disturbing, but that's another element of escapism that, I don't know. It's a scary jump to try and tackle these issues, but I have, it's what I do. So back to your question.
Yes, ma'am.
Your question was, what kind of life skills and learning opportunities do people miss?
Yeah, because that's important, in my opinion. I mean, I feel like I've missed a bunch because I spent a big chunk of my life.
You miss out?
Okay. Yeah. Well, Netflix, video games, writing, fantasy, anything, because I feel like I missed a big chunk of my life because of that. Because I isolated myself so bad, I didn't leave my room ever because I was bullied in school and I hated life. So that's all I did.
Absolutely. I am right there with you, my friend.
Yeah.
And I really don't believe that people in society consciously choose to live that way. I think we're collectively worn down. We're worn down so much by responsibilities and obligations that we think we need to fulfill or things we need to buy. So I think we as a whole, we miss out on being happy together while we share this world together because Netflix keeps us individualized.
Right. I mean, I would add personally, if I answered that, I would also add that we're missing out on possible friendships,
Yeah.
social bonding, connections outside of our homes.
Mm-hmm.
We're missing out on the opportunity to volunteer with the community and learn trade skills and crafts that will help us later in life,
Absolutely.
all sorts. We're missing out on healthy health and fitness opportunity to better ourselves and make us healthier. We're meant to move, right? So do you believe there is a universal block on growth because some or many of us are maybe too comfortable with our lives to take action to help others?
Absolutely. Our communication's down, anxiety's up. We have this weird attachment to social media to where we're not really doing anything unless it's documented. So you're supposed to do things for people with no recognition or reward, but I feel like even that gets chained to this algorithm or hashtag trend. And I'm no saint to it. That's why it's weird that that's why I want the disregard complex title to have a hashtag to it, because there's just this reduction of humanity attached to these hashtag thing, like a reduction of the actual person, Breonna Taylor. She becomes a hashtag.
So you know what I think about that too is it goes back to what we were talking about a little earlier in this conversation. I think it also goes back to people creating these universal social posts or media posts, and the creator, the originator, actually not doing anything about it other than just posting.
Yeah.
And it also goes back to the corporate mindset of, okay, you go to Panda Express, right? Mm-hmm. They have a little, what is it called? St. Jude, whatever donation thing.
Yeah.
I've investigated this. Okay. So anytime we donate to those corporate, like little donation company boxes or whatever that they want us to donate for, or ask for $1 and blah, 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 there's no way to actually know for a fact with evidence that it's going to where it's going.
Right.
And on top of that, there's no way to actually know. There's no paper trail to know if that company is in fact extorting the money.
Yeah.
It's disgusting, right? It's not. I mean, on top of that, thinking critically here, the best way to actually, that's easier to follow and track, to actually know your money is going somewhere, is to donate to nonprofits or local companies, not corporate or anything like that.
That's what I'm saying. We really got to check into what these corporations are doing. I'll always name drop them because we just reset. Our whole world just reset, and it's time to not let it continue.
I agree. And I also think that, Disney has such a strong hold on children that when these kids grow up, they're going to have such problem too is they're going to have such a heavy mindset on what to expect in relationships, mm-hmm. on what to expect in how they dress or how they're supposed to act.
Absolutely.
So example, so if a little girl was watching like any of the movies basically in Disney where there's a Prince Charming, mm-hmm. right? They're going to expect that the guy that they date or the guy that they're going to fall for if they are straight is going to be this Prince Charming, romanticized person. And that's never the case. And then they get their hearts broken and then they're going to be all messed up because they believe something that wasn't true. Right.
Right. That's what I wrote about as well, is this like my VHS tapes of Disney and where my babysitter most of the time. I had a single mother working constantly as a house cleaner, and we would watch freaking bullshit Disney movies all the time. And it really shapes your personality. So then later on, when the whole motto of the company is never grow up, right?
Yep. Exactly.
grow up
And that
so we
doesn't help anybody, because then when they actually get in a situation where they're grown up, they still they still don't know what to do. They're like little kids who just don't understand how to work in the world, and help
Right.
other people, because they expect that something will magically happen, because Disney's all about magic, to get them what they want or get them to a place where they're happy.
Right. So you understand my vendetta against them. So it's like, yes, they do push little like messages of, bravery. I'll give them that. The confidence, whatever. They always have to have some sort of spin, right? So I'm afraid going forward that they're going to look more into the marginalized groups, the LGBTQ plus community, the trans community, the BIPOC community, and they're going to give you another dose to numb you into buying more of their product. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we're just going to make this character Asian today, and now we're
Right.
great again. We're good again. I get to
Yeah,
sell.
I get it.
Yeah, well, it's just like the same argument about when the freaking Marvel movie was competing with what's the movie with the blue people?
Smurfs.
No, not Smurfs.
What? That is a movie.
No, okay, so there was a box
Avatar.
office. Yes, okay, Avatar. So Avatar was competing with Marvel about who has the most ticket sales, right? But they're both owned by Disney, so it doesn't matter because it's literally the same company.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It doesn't. You see what I'm saying?
Whatever gets their name and their image into social media, right?
It's hysterical because, okay, meanwhile, it's really bad.
And if you want to go even deeper on the subject, okay, so, and it sounds really sad, but there are even times where I'm sure Disney, as one of them, makes up a false story about something like assault going on backstage of a movie set, or a comment being made on a film set, and then all of a sudden they're all over social media about this person saying this comment or doing this thing.
It's just to get attention and to put more butts in seats. It's all about butts and seats. But it's not just Disney, it's so many other things. But
definitely. All right, so here's the next question. When it comes to family, those that distance themselves from family or detach due to negative circumstances and find solace in friends, do you believe friends can be family? And would you suggest those that detach from family try to mend it even if it's not their fault?
Okay. Well, this is just, I see every person as either a show pony or a free radical.
Show pony! I'm a show pony!
I define people as a show pony or a free radical. It's what I wrote about. We're going to get to that in future podcasts and stuff like that.
That's a later chapter. So here's the last one. Lastly, how would you compare the past to today, the good and the bad, and how would you suggest people shape a better future? What kinds of things need to be done that we can all do better as a whole?
I think the best step for all of us going forward is to recognize that we just had a massive opportunity to reset ourselves. And I think it's time to really focus on strengthening our communities from the inside out. There are so many hardworking nonprofits. They're setting roots right now, and it's time to lift them up and discuss what they're doing. I don't know. So to shape a better future, I would say people just need to start valuing their own brain. And that means turning everything off, unplugging, looking into some community groups. I think that's the best step going forward. And if I was to compare it to the past, I don't want to look back. I can't look back, Nate.
Gotcha. You don't want to look back.
These eyes are pointed forward. We're going forward.
Just like a one-winged dove,
Stop it.
Sounds like she's singing. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oh wow, goodbye.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for listening to another installment of the Brain Drops podcast. I just want to give a special reminder about a Trans Day of Visibility event coming up on March 31st. Please join them Wednesday, March 31st from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Pacific time to hear the voices and stories of the trans community in Sonoma County, California. Their Zoom ID is 991 21502761 to join the visibility panel. Please join, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your night. Again, the Zoom ID is 991-5150-2761. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for listening to the Brain Drops podcast. Stay tuned for updates on our foundation, our guest speakers, and some interesting brain drops.